with the right skill. On today's edition of Aquibum Rising, we'll be giving you a tour around the Dakada Skill Acquisition Center, DSAC. We'll also be hearing from the trainees and trainers. This program is brought to you from the Office of the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Ekerete Udo. I am Greatest Hussein.
Scenic and often traveled roads do not only always lead to beautiful destinations. They sometimes bear traces to the discovery of hidden treasures that make every turn worthwhile. Among the interesting destinations the Uyo-Ikorekpene Road in Akwa Ibom State leads is a facility that holds promising vistas for the socio-economic fortunes of not just a few. A cutting-edge technical training institution, the Dakada Skills Acquisition Center, DSAC, built to populate skilled entrepreneurship and deep prosperity in the land. Another good example of continuity in governance, the center, conceived and built from relics of decades of abandonment by immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, received life and wings to fly after Governor Moino took over governance of the state, appointed officers to run the institution, and ordered commencement of academic activities. The center, which commenced training in September 2024 for 240 trainees by the end of the first cohort, minted into society proficiently honed entrepreneurs in metal and woodworks, agriculture, catering and hospitality, and ICT, in manner that clearly aligned with the foundational principles of Governor Moino's Arise agenda.
The graduation ceremony of the first batch of 240 initial trainees of this great training center, the Dakada Skill Acquisition Center, popularly known as the SAC, represents that idea as captured in its vision, which is to provide a one-stop shop for world-class, cutting-edge, and needs-driven technical skills training, leadership and entrepreneurial training for our youths. The Arise agenda, our governance blueprint, is heavy in human capacity development. And what we are witnessing here today speaks to our desire to train our youth and equip them with skill sets that will make them employers of labor as opposed to being job seekers.
Incentivizing embrace of technical skills to deepen citizens' interest in the artisanal offerings of the center, Governor Eno moved from paying 20,000 Naira monthly training stipends to providing startup kits for graduates in the first cohort, in addition to tasking economically advantaged citizens to take up sponsorship of interested but disadvantaged individuals.
Let me thank and salute the vision of the immediate past governor of our state, the Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, CON, for conceptualizing this center and putting together the structures which are truly world-class, of which we today are deploying the finishers anointing with the sponsorship of the first 200 trainees spread across all the 31 local government areas and a 20,000 monthly stipend paid to each trainee.
How much promise this center holds soon became the centerpiece of conversations bordering on enterprise development, prosperity, and enhanced artisanal prospects for citizens.
We've noticed an increase in the people that have made requests to be trained, and so that's a positive one. We have also observed that individuals, corporate organizations, local government bodies have indicated interest to see that their wards are being trained and given the relevant skills. So that's something good. And some people have come in talking with us about possible special arrangements for training. So not just the cohort that we run, but in special terms, how we would go about training people for special skills to meet their needs. So that is still on ground.
Different from endeavors that take a dip after an initial plaudit, Dakada Skills Acquisition Center, in its second cohort, is challenging every stride that brought it the initial acclaim. Expanding its frontiers to their more ambitious programs, the center is currently training people on civil technology, auto mechanic, industrial safety, and electrical electronics. This renewed verve snugly fits into Governor Eno's vision of improving the socio-economic fortunes of young people in the state.
What we are doing here, we are trying to install the oven bake spray booth where we'll be spraying our cars. We are training the trainees in the practical, the maintenance, and the repair aspect of automobile. How to change your brake lining, gearbox, mounting of engine, getting the old one out, maintenance, lubrication, and the shocks, how to change shocks, the transmission system.
Aligning with the International Labour Organization's emphasis on the importance of small and medium-scale enterprise as engines of job creation, the center is empowered by the Akwa Ibom state government to increase the number of jobs available within the economy, thereby contributing to social inclusion, economic growth, and overall well-being of the trainees drawn from different parts of the state. A leveler that prioritizes interests and hands-on skilled experiences over conventional certification. Admission to the center, which is gender blind, requires no pre-qualification. Graduates, undergraduates, and the barely educated are given equal opportunities. Same with people living with disability.
Actually, this department is an exciting department. I know in this field there are different ideology about female being found in this very department and in this very field. But to be sincere, what got my interest in this department is I realized that females are rare in this field. But I decided to be that very female that will be an outstanding female welder, not just a female welder, but a professional female welder who is out there and ready to encourage other teenagers and youths, especially, most especially females, who think that that they cannot do well in metal and steel fabrication.
A tour of this sprawling nursery of ambitious dreams unveiled a raw resolve geared towards changing the people's socio-economic prospects along the lines of their peculiar advantage in a magnitude that would saturate every community with requisite manpower to discourage rural-urban migration. At the School of Industrial Safety, where trainees, according to the Dean, Ekemini Joshua, are expected to master the rudiments of emergency management, fire safety, and first aid. Saki Moses, an instructor, was seen taking trainees through scaffold making.
Here in the School of Industrial Safety, we just started this cohort with the School of Industrial Safety, and in Industrial Safety we have different programs that are ongoing where we train the trainees on core health and safety. We train them on firefighting, where we have those firefighting equipment. We have the fire extinguishers, we have the hydrants, we have the fire hose reel, we have other firefighting items where we don't just give them theory, they are exposed to the emergency response protocols that are involved when it comes to fire safety. We also have first aid, where we train them on how to conduct CPR in case of an emergency. How can they conduct themselves? How can they help to resuscitate a person? That is being done here. We also have scaffold that we've seen, which they are already ongoing, which is to also add to their skills.
I asked them to erect the scaffold last week. We started barely 2 weeks ago. And by the time I gave them that assignment, I was so glad today to come back and see that good job there. Though not perfectly done, but I can assure you that in the next 1 month, they are going to make it very good.
From electrical electronics, where trainees are immersed in the deployment of renewable energy, to solving problems of power, to auto mechanics, where best practices of vehicles maintenance is explored. Trainers at the various departments explained their curriculums in content and context.
Carefully structured the system that within this period of 6 months, it will not be a waste. Someone should be able to go home with something. And one of the things we are looking at is that we are fully into renewable energy. We train them on solar system, and here we have a lot of wind, and we also want to, when we get into the practical session, how we can harvest this wind here. We do a research on it. We know during rainy season, a lot of people have downtime on their solar, but there's a free energy with the wind. And a small windmill can complement that. So be it at night, even when rain is falling, we've acquired those things, but we are yet to install them, so that we can see how clients can have a full time on their solar inverters running both in the rainy season and in the dry season.
We've been able to teach them ranging from affiliate marketing. We've also taught them content marketing. We've also taught them social media marketing. We've also done email marketing. We are still on the curriculum, of course. This is the 10th week into our training. And then before they all even started into the departmental programs, they were first of all given a general entrepreneurial overview. And then before they now got into the faculty program. And then we also, at the faculty level, also took them on some general classes, on some general theme that has to do with computer as a whole. Because we understand that most of the trainees that we have here, not all of them were computer compliant. Some of them came and then they didn't even know how to even operate the system or to even touch the mouse. But as of today, because we are all into the main departmental programs and courses, as of today, every one of them can actually use the computer effectively. They know all the basics and they are into their professional programs already.
We have two main departments here, departments of welding and sheet metal works and department of machining processes. At present, we have a total of 21 trainees, and these trainees have been shared into the two departments. Here we carry out processes that involve turning metal raw materials into useful products. So for the welding and sheet metal work site, we have been able to carry on several tasks, including making of things like burglary proofs, gates. At present, we have a gates production ongoing, and then we also have In the machining section, we have an oil press, which is ongoing. It's a combination of both the welding and the machining departments.
Here in Hotel and Tourism Management, we have 3 units: continental, pastry, and traditional. Currently, we have 62 trainees, and so far they have been exposed to pastry, traditional, and continental knowledge on how to cook food, and they make the recipes and the method of procedure on how those things can be carried out.
Okay, we have about 36 of them here in garments making, and we also have some sub-units in the garments making. We have the female making, dressmaking. We also have the male garments making. We also have what we call the casuals garments making, or the streetwears garments making. So in each of these sub-units, we have about 11 of them. I have 11 of them to train in male garments making. And then we have exposed them for the past 2 months on how to make the garments. We started with the general courses, like general knowledge about everything, their machine, their skills, and what they are coming here to do, before we now reduce it to the unit level to train them.
Well, what we do here is bag and shoes. We have basically two different work being done here, the bag and the shoe. And the students are running this program for a period of 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, what they're expected to know is to know how to sew all kinds of bags, leatherwork bag, and also how to couple shoes, both sandals, slides, slippers, and also cover shoes. So these are what they're expected to know at the end of 6 months. It's basically purely practical. All the learning is done practical. As you can see, each and every one of them is on the machine trying to sew different designs of bags.
We do an integrated agriculture, which means that all the trainees are involved in ranch, poultry, piggery, scenery. We also have a rabbitry unit also here within the livestock unit. So I'm the head of the cattle ranch, which is made of 3 units: the cattle, the goatry, and the sheep.
For the trainees, it is an opportunity of a lifetime. Amid plaudits for Governor Eno's commitment to giving families across the state an economic lifeline, they are committed to making this experience count.
And sincerely, I wish to appreciate my trainers. My most appreciation goes to the state government for creating a place like this for us to come and learn and acquire more skills.
Governor Pastor Moina for his great opportunity that he has given me. I want to thank him for the effort, because at least now I've learned so many things in automobile / mechanical engineering. And I believe that the opportunity is not going to be wasted.
When I come out here, I want to be a supplier also, consultant also, because of the high level training.
All I can say to the governor is a very big thank you on behalf of all of us here.
The present government have done so much for us to acquire this skill is a plus to us. So we say thank you to the present government.
Some trainees also hailed the credit and merit in their selection, promising to give it their best, and expressed the hope that DSAC holds the pivot in Nigeria's quest for practical and experiential education.
And by the grace of God, when I heard the advert on radio, on the social media, I got registered. Fortunately, I was fortunate to be among the governor's list. So I'm here because of that. I was admitted to study electrical electronics. We started, and it has been a rewarding session. So far, I've learned a lot. I was a novice on this, on electrical. I was actually doing printing and publication, but I developed passion in electrical so far. So far, I'm able to install a building.
In the past 3 months plus, we've been able to learn some specific type of vehicle parts and how to maintain vehicles and part of servicing. We'll be able to identify types of vehicles and some vehicles part, like in terms of transmission, suspension.
Since I came here, I've learned a lot in terms of installations, practical installation, and then also they have let us to understand differentiate between electrical and electronic in terms of wiring system. So we have learned a lot.
I've learned how to cut a pencil skirt with inverted pleats at the back. I've learned how to cut a blouse, a peplum blouse, which is an off-shoulder to one side, and we call it asymmetry neckline. And in that period of 2 months, I've also learned how to cut a pleated skirt. We have inverted pleats, and we have key splits, and we have normal box splittings.
Before coming here, I've been hearing about Takada Skill Acquisition Center, but I was opportune to be chosen by our local government chairman to undergo this skill. I'm representing my ward in Mbo local government area. So coming here has been a very graceful experience to me. I've been taught so many things within the space of the 2 months that we've been here. I've been taught a lot of dishes in the traditional unit, in the pastry unit, in the housekeeping unit, and also in the continental unit.
I didn't have a knowledge about this lathe machine. But when I arrived here, by my instructor, he was able to help me understand that this lathe machine can produce many things, such as rolling tire that can be used for rolling gate. It also helped me to know that this lathe machine, by what I did by myself, this is a trade that can be used in milling machine. So we use this lathe machine to produce this. So a lot of things that we have produced through this lathe machine. Since I arrived here, we have done a lot of things. And
for these few months that we are here, we are able to crochet so many things. We do 8-band, ruffle hats, and skull cap. What I can do so far, I can, based on knitting machine, we can do A-band, A-warmer, pullover. In crocheting, we crochet A-band, skull cap, and ruffle hats.
Not limited to territorial impact. This is a center whose brilliant promise is already appreciated beyond the shores of Akwa Ibom State.
I can say that government does not depend on a person, it depends on the process. And I can say that, a previous man started a particular project and another second man sees it as a noble project. It's a massive structure. You can't find this anywhere. I've traveled around the country. You can't find any kind of this structure today that is combining the training of all the skills we're talking about in this way together. None, nowhere in this nation.
With the growing departure from paper certification and conscious shift towards sustainable entrepreneurial adequacies, Governor Moeno, through this center that is livening dreams, is deploying a myriad of workable alternatives at changing the narratives for hitherto economically disadvantaged demographic. Without let, DSAC is a vision whose time has come. On these faces are testimonies that would outlive Governor Eno, leaving manifest imprints of the Arise Agenda's socio-economic breakthroughs for generations.
Akwa Ibom Rising.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Akwa Ibom Rising. Until we come your way again next time, this program was brought to you from the office of the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Ekerete Odo. I am Greatest. Use.
We are the pride of